Welcome to our first session of product Q&As with GRID. With me today I have Niall, our Technical Support Manager. As most of you know by now, I'm the Sales Director of GRID. Today we're going to be discussing our new range of BSLBATT batteries. This particular one behind us is our HV pack. Quite a few of you have seen the marketing and know a little bit about it already, but today we're going to discuss in more detail. Now, tell us a bit more about this battery.
This battery is predominantly designed for high voltage usage on industrial scale, but it can also be utilized, as it is a very simple configuration, it can be utilized in residential installation. The batteries come in a number of different configurations. It's essentially a stackable configuration, and so whatever your designated or required standard voltages are, you can stack the modules to achieve a certain requirement. For example, if you have a stack of 8, 9, or 10 batteries, you will be operating between the realms of 450 and 680 volts, which is more than enough to be compatible with a lot of the latest units, something high voltage, and any other high voltage that needs to be coming out of the market, essentially.
Okay, interesting points. Now, one of the glaring differentiators with this battery as opposed to most of your modular high voltage batteries is the fact that, as you mentioned, it's stacked. There's no racking. In terms of racking, as far as I'm aware of, when you do a stacking configuration, you save yourself on average 3 to 4 hours when you're installing.
Absolutely. It's essentially a number of low voltage modules, so they're very lightweight individually. And by racking and stacking them together, it doesn't take more than 2 people to actually put the battery together. So it's a very fast configuration, it's simple, it's easy to understand. Most of it has been done for you that is safe to connect. It's easily configured, and it's easily stackable with 2 people. The modules are relatively lightweight, and so it isn't actually too difficult to get the units installed into a house. You can see there the size itself is also very, very limited, and so it doesn't take up too much space on site. So it'll be a lot easier for physical installation. But now in terms of after the installation, we also have measures in place there whereby we've incorporated a cloud system that then monitors during real time every aspect of the battery. So as even after the battery has been put together, the upkeep has been kept simplified.
Okay. Yeah. So to your point, really, so in terms of the convenience factor, we've covered that, where you can save yourself a good number of hours when you're installing a system of this type of configuration. You mentioned the cloud system that is going into management and monitoring of the battery. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that benefits the installer and the customer.
So previously we had a remote monitoring system, which we then sort of dialed into the batteries, and we were able to then see different parts of the telemetry, cell voltages, cell temperatures, and general characteristics of the operation. With this monitoring, it is now real time. So you can actually go online into a cloud system, and you can monitor real time every single cell's voltage, all individual cell temperatures, as well as all fault records or any problems, or even any further information that you require from the battery in terms of its cycles, its current charging and discharging rates, and so on.
Okay, so that's actually very good. I mean, BSL has always prided itself, as many would know the brand, in terms of leading the way when it comes to quality, design, and engineering. When it comes to customer safety, does this battery play well there? What does it have, as far as I understand it, as built-in fire suppression?
That is true. So in terms of customer safety, when you're dealing with high voltage, there's obviously a much higher risk factor in the way that it is a lot less forgiving. What has been put into place to mitigate the risk factor? There is built-in fire suppression in the form of a CO2 pack embedded inside of each of the battery modules. So as to, if any fire or any form of thermal runaway were to occur, the CO2 pack would detonate, then forcing all oxygen outside of the battery containers, snuffing out the fires before it then extends into a further essential catastrophic failure on the battery itself. So that measure has been put into place just in terms of its actual suppressive measures, but in terms of just general health and safety, there has been thought put into the general connective points of the battery. You'll notice there's no loose and open connections. It's all amphenol connections, so as to not have any easily accessible points of short circuit contacting. The battery also then has further alarm protocols in place. Should any of the characteristics for a catastrophic failure present, you will immediately be alerted on the cloud system through a notification on the devices, so that you can then respond immediately onto the site should catastrophic failure occur.
So now take us through a high-level overview in terms of the specs of this particular battery.
Okay, so for this, I'm going to break it down individually. So each battery module, you're looking at a 135 amp hour battery with a watt, with an output of about 7,776 watts. So per pack, put into series, you have a pack of between 8 and 10 modules. You're looking at roughly tested 350 to 400 kilowatt hours in the pack itself. Each pack is a 57 volt battery. Those are all then put into series to achieve that full voltage that we require for high voltage.
So then in layman's terms, you're saying that each module is 7.7 kilowatts. That is 135 amp hours each. We can put 10 modules together to make one pack. And that pack will be 77.7 kilowatt hours for one pack, which we then can parallel to get between 300 to 400 kilowatt hours depending on project size and scope.
Absolutely.
All right, great. For any more information, please click on the link below. It will take you to our website, and from there you can inquire with sales, on pricing, and on stock.